Hello and welcome to For the Clarity and Closure of the Viewer's Comments. I'm just going to say a few brief things before we begin. Number one, when you choose to comment on my YouTube channel, there are terms and conditions, there are rules that you must follow. It's my house. I expect you to follow the rules. If you don't, your comment probably will not be published. Also, I ask that you be honorable and graceful, i.e. respectful of everyone here. Please don't go around telling people what they should or shouldn't do. And if you come here making claims about this or that or the third or something that's happened to you or whatever having to do with grammar or courts or whatever, you better be able to certify your correct sentence structure knowledge, because this is a correct sentence structure channel, and I am going to call you to the carpet on it if you start making claims about something that you perhaps don't know what you're talking about. It's very important for the safety of the vessel. If you have closure on correct sentence structure, you should be able to provide that proof like that, on the spot. So keep that in mind. The energy you bring here, I will return. I will balance it out with Rule 1, Rule Equal. So without further ado, let's get to the comments.
Welcome, friends and neighbors. I'm going to start using the terms friends and neighbors rather than ladies and gentlemen. I think it's more personable, and I think the majority of people that come to this YouTube channel, they know what I'm about, and I consider them friends and neighbors. There's not too many people that come on here that are rude or rambunctious or presumptuous. Some of the newbies are, but that's another thing I'm going to get to later on. I've begun including some comments from TikTok, and you will see a marked difference in content from comments on YouTube from comments on TikTok. So I'll show you some of that in a little bit. But digging into the VCB, we have this first comment from CUSDS, conscious whatever, and they say, as you explained the word comprehend, with pre making it a no contract word, with the pre positioned in the middle of the word and not as a prefix or suffix, are you suggesting it matters not? And then I in turn gave Kuliana, it's a particle of negation. Pre means no. Are you saying pre isn't a particle of negation? I'm not sure that CUSDS, conscious whatever, has done their homework with the correct sentence structure as far as learning how to parse. CUSDS, when you parse a word, you look up the particles of the word. You look up the word comprehend. You find out how many syllables are in the word comprehend. So pre is a particle. It's recognized and credentialed as a particle in the word. And when you credential the PRE, it means no. It means the same thing as PRO. It negates the now space. It doesn't matter where you put it. If you have 3 times 0 times 1, or if you have 0 times 3 times 1, or 3 times 1 times 0, it doesn't matter where the 0 is, where you put it, whether you put it at the beginning, the end, or the middle, it's still a particle of negation. That's how parse works. That's how the mechanics of this grammar work. So from your comment, I would have to say that you are a beginner, and that's why I'm explaining it in such a depth of detail to you. CUSDS comes back and says, no, I am not saying pre is a particle of negation. I am not saying pre is a particle of negation. So I guess they are, I am not saying pre is a particle of negation. I guess they're saying they're not disagreeing with me. I am asking if the particle of negation still creates a no contract word, even if it's not positioned as a prefix or suffix. See the previous explanation I gave using the number 0 in the multiplication problem. Example, cognized versus cognized. Cognized is contractually congruent, whereas cognized is not. Yes, because cognized contains a particle of negation, just like comprehend contains a particle of negation. One is reflecting now time continuum, the other is reflecting past time, yet still with the now time continuum. Does this make sense? I mean, it does from the perspective of a beginner with a theoretical idea of what they think correct sentence structure is. But hopefully with the explanation that I gave you, the closure I gave you on your previous comment, you will see why PRE, no matter where it's positioned, is a particle of negation. Thank you for the comment. Next comment comes from the nom de guerre DKI Research, DKI No Search, and they say, I claim common law's fraud. Men and women from the land are required to return to common lore. Well, DKI Research, common lore, just like common law, is fiction. It originates from the fiction, created by the fiction for fiction. So it's your choice to return to that, to no turn to it, if you want to. That's up to you. But you cannot require anyone to do anything. It's up to each man and woman to do as they see fit. And whether that's return to the fiction, adverb, verb, adjective, pronoun, common lore, or to learn correct sentence structure, communication, parse, syntax, grammar, it's their choice. That's the beauty of contract. Thanks for the comment. Next comment comes from Jeff Baird, and they say, for the volition-strategy of the RJG followers are with the Jason-Matthew::glass-cuss-words of the UTUB strike by the UTUB algorithm. I have no idea what this guy is saying. No idea at all. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Number one, the verb is incorrect. The verb is plural when quite obviously the cause of the sentence is singular. So when the cause of the sentence is singular, then the verb would be singular. And they also precede, they have an of the in front of a by the, which negates the mathematical interface. So this isn't even close to correct sentence structure, because you can't read it. It doesn't read back cause, concern, verb. If you precede the by the with an of the, then reading it backwards, it would become for the with the, which makes absolutely no sense in the context of the mathematical interface. I feel like if I had to guess that this individual is saying that I got a copyright strike because of cuss words, but that's not true. The copyright strike came from a manual complaint written by Rachel Prince. Okay? That's how it came from, the fact that I used portions of the RJG video. But the strike is no longer there. It was stricken from the record. Next comment comes from April Juanita Boyd, and she says, don't get why making life brighter. The rest, though, makes sense. Would it have to do with the capital letters? No, the casing of letters has nothing to do with syntaxing. Also, thank you for the membership. I appreciate that. The way you syntax is you credential whether a word is tangible contract or non-tangible contract. Brighter is tangible, life is tangible, and making is tangible. So when you have a series of tangible contract words, the last word's going to be a pronoun and the preceding words are going to be adjectives, because tangible contract words would not be adverbs. Just like adverbs would not be tangible contract words. Hope that helps. Next comment comes from Gregory-Donald Cooper, which is not correct, of course, as I've said ad nauseum. Every correct sentence structure must start with a cause, a for the. And when you put a colon and a space, that means of the or with the. And so you would not start a sentence with a concern or a possessive. And they say is for the why of the name calling. And it's another one of those quantum gobbledygook. It's not correct sentence structure. It's someone mixing adverb, verb, adjective, pronoun with their idea of what they think correct sentence structure would be. But this guy's obviously a beginner, so we can cut him some slack. And they say, for me, of the Russell has given me a venue that I control, not him. Well, Gregory, if you bought a life claim, whose name is in the copyright copy claim section? And is the grammar correct? If the grammar on your life claim looks like the first sentence of your comment, then the grammar is not correct. And I can bet you dollars to donuts, I am 100% certain that the grammar on your life claim, if you got it from that guy, if it originated from that sector, is not correct. And I can prove it to you. I have proven it in other videos. The people like you that has known this for years help us get our head wrapped around this broad subject. Winifred is pure light and a higher vibration. I don't think that's a correct assessment, because if she's associating with someone as malicious and as volatile as RJG, then can't be pure light. Definitely not. And it would be a good idea if she would learn the grammar for herself, and then she would be able to see, but she hasn't. So therefore, she kind of has a handicap, so to speak, in viewing the situation. That's my guess anyways. I think you are very knowledgeable by your performances. My thinking is that you should be an authorized syntax teacher, but you cannot or will not join with the Russell J. Gould. Absolutely not. Not after what I've been through, what I've seen, and the way the people under him have approached me, and also my communications with the man himself over the years. I don't need his authorization for anything. Certainly don't want to use his grammar because he uses incorrect grammar. I know your stance. You are free, wrote your own claim of the life. However, David-WYNN Miller and Russell performed mechanics at the end. This gives me closure. So are you saying that you have closure on the mechanics that you're claiming that David and Russell performed at the end? What is your proof of that? Is it something you heard? Or do you have like video proof of it? Or do you have document proof of it? Because as it stands, I have seen no proof of it. I do have gratitude for your teaching. I don't see this man as a dictator. That's our difference, but that's okay. That is correct. That is correct. You can choose to contract with whomever you wish. And this is a guy that comes from the Russell J. Gould cult, whatever you want to call it. And I will bet you, again, I will bet you dollars to donuts that in less than 365 days, this guy, Gregory Donald Cooper, if he's being totally upfront, he will see what's going on in that construct. He will witness some things that will cause him to doubt. And I don't know if he'll contact me again or what, but I bet he will break bulk with that construct. I can pretty much guarantee it. But we'll see what happens. Thanks for the comment, Gregory. Thank you for being respectful. I appreciate it. You're the first individual from that sector who has actually been respectful. And I will publish comments like that as long as you are respectful. Next comment comes from someone who's not so respectful. And this individual is named Kevin Japananka. Yeah. And he says, your so-called key is missing something matey. Get it right or go home. We don't condone American liars or people who, well, the comment got, oh, I apologize. I put the wrong screenshot up here, but he goes on to say people who misuse David-WYNN Miller's technology. So it's people like this that really make me laugh, like belly laugh, because they throw out accusations with no proof, no evidence. Misuse means not using, okay? So he's saying I don't use David's technology, but I actually have been using it for 5+ years with 100% success. And he says, we don't condone American liars. Who's we? Does he have a mouse in his pocket? I'm not sure what he's talking about. So that video, by the way, that he's talking about is one of the most viewed videos on my YouTube channel. And the syntaxing in it is actually, it has some errors in it because it was from a few years ago before Raven and I came up with the system of how to credential a tangible contract word and a non-tangible contract word. And in that video, I was still syntaxing like words like is and are as non-tangible contract. But I did come out with a stop and correct video that explained this, gave closure to it, announced, my mistake with all the humility, and explaining what words that I used to syntax as non-tangible, I now syntax as tangible, and I gave evidence as to why I came to that conclusion. But again, that was like a year or two ago. That was like 2 years ago, so this guy's a bit behind the curve. Next comment comes from Hulu2, and they're commenting on the Crow 777 reaction video that I did. I think I'll have to have a refreshment before I start reading this one. This fellow right here, I will not divulge his correct name or anything like that, but I do know who it is, and I consider him to be a friend and brother, and if he ever decides to make his own podcast, man, it would be legendary, and I hope he does do it someday. But he has a lot to say, a lot of knowledge to share, and so let's dig into this. He says, Crow has developed, I'll say instead manifested, for himself a position in life where having or making time to research a particular matter or subject becomes a priority. Or so it has seemed that way for years. He has done great work for those that tune in regularly by pulling back the mask of sanity on many subjects. That's a great book, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever Google the book Mask of Sanity and read it. I forget the author, I apologize, but it'll come up if you Google Mask of Sanity. You will find a myriad of references like that in this fella's, comments and stuff, little nuggets he throws in there. Strangely, the fiction of realities, I'd have to say, has been one of his primary general subject headings, of which many, if not most of what he brings to the table, tends toward revealing in one way or another. Many grateful hours I've spent listening to, and really none of them are a regret. Anyway, something new to learn, and having brought his point man Jason aboard was a wise move as well. And he's referring to Jason Lindgren, the co-host of Crow 777, and I agree with Hulu too here. I've spent many hours listening to Crow. Really enjoyable. My wife and I do enjoy listening to his podcast from time to time. Anyhow, that established, it's always been a bit of a head-scratcher to me that he hasn't taken a bit more of a deep dive into CSSC-PSG, and your thoughts landing upon the probability more than possibility, I think, that he in fact did delve into a cursory explanation, put him into contact with both corruptors and others that were mentioned by you, Mark lowercase k and Crazy Crazy Man, can't even say his name anymore, right? With Crow's aptitude in the field of examples he had to draw from during that period when he did do some cursory looking into the matter, yes, those two yo-yos would be just about all one needed to walk the other way. Now, I'm a conspiracy guy too. Seems one can find them just about everywhere, as for the most part, no matter where one goes to explore the knowledge of the esoteric realm, whether medicine, the shape of this realm, law, history, etc., there seems to always be someone or something to vector one's progress. In the case of the two yo-yos, it's certainly been successful. I mentioned conspiracy because V2K, a general term for voice-to-skull tech, is real. And my gut tells me that at some point in Crazy Man's journey, it was used on him to vector his thinking. Just a gut feeling, though. Yet this technique you know and teach that Mark lowercase k and Crazy Man have obviously no closure on, and this being obvious now to one such as myself that still can only at best wish he could make the time required to learn, is something that Crow had a conscious, solid, fresh look at, in fact simply contacted you directly, would certainly come to an almost immediate reaction that most of his valuable now time was just that, vectored into things ultimately non-productive, though as you pointed out, intellectually titillating. Now would be a perfect time to contact you, and if by some small chance Crow were to read this comment and contact you directly, I assure him that he will discover he was led down a path, and one that far more complicated than what having closure on CSSC-PSG would have and can still bring to the table for him and all of his followers that I gotta believe he truly does ultimately care about. Well, thank you for that very thoughtful comment. I agree with just about everything Hulu 2 said in there. And of course, that's the beauty of contract, it's by consent. So if Crow 777 feels that itch to board my vessel, the email address is at the bottom of the screen. I'd be more than happy to set up a 10 to 15 minute video consultation for him. Thanks for the comment. Now we can get into some of the TikTok comments here. And this comment says, on the video that I had on there, where does authority come from? And someone named Proud Muslim Lion says, authority comes from Allah, the One, our Creator, and it comes from Quran and Sunnah. Now this Nam Daguerre Proud Muslim Lion can think whatever he wants. I mean, if he wants to give authority away to someone else, that's cool. But as far as correct sentence structure goes, that is a violation of Rule 1, Rule Equal. And while Allah and things like that can be a fact for each individual in their own private lives and things like that, in order for someone else, me for example, to participate with that as a fact, then someone would have to be able to prove that fact. The way that I can prove that this is a pen, I can write with it, you can feel it, you can touch it, it is a pen, I can prove it, it is a fact. Alright? You have to be able to do the same thing with Allah if you want other people to participate with it as a fact. You can't just expect people just to believe something with no proof. I mean, you can't expect that. I mean, some people, a lot of people actually do believe things without proof. Just look at the RJG and Mark lowercase k followers. They believe all kinds of stuff without evidence. But that's the long and short of it. Next TikTok comment comes from someone named WhoGuru2022A, and they say, I never wore one. He's talking about CPAS-C treaty, and have been at war with these people ever since. Next scandemic will be a bloodbath for them. And this is what I mean by the people on TikTok. They're very, very rambunctious, you know, very excitable. I'd have to say it's because of their youth, right? But I will say I don't participate with any warlike parties or anything like that, so any type of bloodbath would not be something I would certainly be interested in, because I navigate with the position of peace and neutrality. And it's worked very well for me for the last 5+ years. And this next comment comes from Michael Marquez, 9585. And this guy, I remember, claimed to go to law school. They didn't claim to be an attorney or anything, but they did claim to go to law school. And I was having a discussion with them, and they said, I see things for what they are, not for what I want them to be. If you want to make a change, don't start by pretending you're not subject to the law. It seems your idea of thinking out of the box is thinking irrationally or simply making things up like an adult playing pretend. And this individual basically illustrates, it's like the carbon copy template of people who react to correct sentence structure with having no knowledge of it. That's how they view it, because they have no idea what it is or how it works. So they immediately dismiss it, they condescend it, they speak poorly of it. I mean, it's just the way it goes with people like that. Next up we have Coop122919. They say, because at the end of the day, if it weren't for him or Miller, oh, he's talking about Russell J. Gould, you wouldn't be having the successes you claim to have, and none of us would know any. Down to those who claim authority but don't have it, i.e. judges, cops, or whatever. I mean, I get that part. Just show the man some respect is all. Respect is earned, not just given as a gift. I have said multiple times in the past in videos that I'm very grateful to Russell for the mechanics that he shared in those videos prior to 2017, where he talked about postal mechanics and banking mechanics. Okay? With that being said, everything that he's done post 2017, I have not been in agreement with, and I'm not going to respect someone who behaves like that. It's that simple. If you want to respect a guy who behaves like a WWE superstar, that's entirely up to you, Coop. I choose not to. Respect what he's done for all of us. What has he done? What has he done besides beat the shit out of David-WYNN Miller to force him to sign over the imaginary copyrights to the quantum gobbledygook? The guy sounds like a bully to me from the way he talks about things. Goes up to people and slaps them across the face for stupidity. I mean, what kind of guy is this that you're putting on a pedestal? I mean, really. How would you like someone to steal your song or your patent or whatever? It's wrong. Not saying you need to bow. There's no stealing here. Authority comes from knowledge. If you have the knowledge to use it, you use it. You must be a newbie, Coop, because before David-WYNN Miller passed away, no one needed permission, or no one even pretended that anyone needed to be authorized to use the grammar. Everybody, and even Russell was in there too, was invited in to use the grammar. They said, don't send us your live claims. Don't send it to us. But then David died, and then Russell pretty much, how do you want to say it? Hijacked the whole construct and changed the narrative, modified the narrative into getting people to believe, such as yourself, to believe that he somehow has authority and that you need his autograph and permission to do anything, when that didn't even exist prior to 2018, the summer of 2018, or even 2019. I would highly recommend doing your research, Coop, because change is modification and modification is perjury. And Russell J. Gould modified the whole thing. All else is theft, and whether you admit it or not, he holds authority you must have to use it legitimately. Why not just get his approval? To use it legitimately. I don't use it legitimately. Legitimately means legal, and it comes from fiction. And I don't participate with fiction when I use correct sentence structure. I've been 100% successful with it, and I don't need anything from him. I don't need anything from you. I don't need anything from anybody. I can just use it and be successful with it. What's so hard to understand about that? I don't know. And what is your dog in this race anyways? I mean, why are you here, investing so much now space, time, and energy? Kind of sound like a fanboy here. Look, I see what you're attempting to say. I've been involved for 3+ years, and here's the point. It's his technology. It's his copyrights. Yes, he owns some quantum gobbledygook. Actually, that is not true. Let me stop and correct on that. He does not own it. He beat up David-WYNN Miller. He physically beat up David-WYNN Miller until David-WYNN Miller agreed to sign over the copyrights of their corporate structure to Russell. And when you force somebody to do something, that's an act of war, and war negates contract. So therefore, there is no correct grammar contract. There is no contract for it. What is so hard to understand about that, Coop? War negates contract, and that's how he got it. He forced David-WYNN Miller to sign it over through physical violence. Look at the Reno seminars. Russell gives, that's the evidence of his coercion right there. But hey, I mean, you must have something going on there. You must have something invested in that for you to spend that much time commenting. I eventually had to block that guy, by the way, I think. And the final comment comes from a nom de guerre known as Fatazi, and they say hello from Scotland. I have to appear in court on the 19th May for section 50 and 38. I did not. I'm trying to learn as much as I can about the grammar before I go, as I am gulping to soik for myself. Any advice for myself, polled, be greatly appreciated. Thank you, respect. If I had a troy-ounce of gold for every comment or email that I got similar to this, I wouldn't even need to be on the internet at all doing this. I'd be on vacation in Maldives or something. See, the issue is this. Fatazi, you're more than welcome to email me at jasonmatthewg17@gmail.com and apply for a grammar workshop to learn the grammar. But I don't think, and this is just a guess from 5+ years of experience of teaching it to people of all different cultures, races, and creeds, no one has ever been able to learn it in that short of a time. And certainly not learn it well enough to be able to walk into a foreign vessel in dry dock and use it with 100% confidence and be successful with it. There's just no way. This stuff, I mean, it took me 2,000 hours before I could even start making claims. All right, and that was like day after day of studying. But what better time than to start right now? It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So yeah, I mean, if you have any inquiries, any questions, or if you want to, if you're serious about getting a workshop, a YouTube comments field is definitely not the place to do it. The email address is the correct venue to do it. And that also, that's raises a red flag for me for someone like Fatazi, that tells me that they don't really watch the videos. Because if they would watch the videos, they would know to email me rather than to just put it in the comments field. The correct venue, if for serious people, serious about the grammar, is the email address, not the comments field. But the internet is the internet, and that's kind of the way the people navigate. They just don't really pay close attention to detail. They don't read the contracts, and that's to their detriment. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody out there, friends and neighbors, and that about does it. Have a great day or night or afternoon or whatever it is you're having. If you'd like to learn correct sentence structure, communication, parse, syntax, grammar, contact me at the email address listed at the bottom of your screen. I will set up a 10 to 15 minute video consultation between you and me. You can ask me whatever you like, and I'll do the same, and we'll see if this is something that you're prepared to commit to. If you'd like to support the channel, click on the Join button underneath this video. There are 2 tiers of membership. The second tier has access to exclusive content not available to the public. Once again, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn the notification bell to all so that you don't miss any of my premieres, because I do post on a very consistent basis. There are over 500 correct sentence structure videos for you to study on this channel. My gift to you, my fellow mankind. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.